A few years ago, when our family was having to rent through homes and apartments that we could afford, there was rivalry between two brothers, and we lived in one of the brothers' homes as renters. One day, the owner's brother unexpectedly came by our house. We thought he was a nice guy. He just popped in to say hi and left. Strange, yes, but still we'd have guests visit us often, so we didn't think anything of it. Well, a lot of strange things happened in the home after that day. For example, any food in the home going forward would taste bland, a strange-looking woman in white trying to choke us when falling asleep, loud banging and shattering glass noise. Yet nothing was ever broken. We decided to take a sample of the soil the house sat on and show it to the shaman. He said that someone had released an evil entity in the house, and the person who did it is a witch. We found out that the brother who came by the house had released the entity that day, exacting revenge on his brother by contaminating his property. We were told that it is incredibly difficult to get rid of this thing, and it was best as renters to just move to another place. And so we left. But yes, we never knew curses, witches, or any ghosts were real, only what we heard in stories, movies, and TV shows. But we really did experience it. Made my family believe in the paranormal, and I guess you can say that I found out that witchcraft and the spirit world is real through a bad incident with a bad witch. Pagan here. When I was 17, my parents renovated our bathroom. I had been practicing for a couple years at this point, but was by no means any good at any of it. The day we took the old tub out of the bathroom, I felt an evil feeling in the bathroom. I told my mom we released something bad and she agreed. I absolutely hated the bathroom after that and became very scared of it. I decided to do a banishing spell on whatever it was that we had released. That was a mistake. All I did was piss it off. A few hours after doing the spell, I took a shower. The bathroom actually felt normal, and I thought my spell worked. As I was bent over washing my legs, I heard something hit the glass shower door very hard. Ours sounded like a slap. My dad had a heavy metal razor sitting on the top track on the shower door, and it fell directly on my lower back and cut me bad. It felt as though something was pushing it into my back. I had a good gash about 3 inches long. I was absolutely terrified and ran out of the shower and across the hall to my room completely naked. My mom rushed in, saw the blood, and took care of my cut. She was convinced I must have just bumped the door. I know I didn't. I had dreams after that of a miner that was killed on the property back during the gold rush. He was hanged for stealing. He was white with dark hair and a dark hat. I swear that was the man in the shower. I lived there a couple more years and refused to shower there. I used my best friend's house or my grandparents' place. I only showered at home if I absolutely had to, and always did a protection spell beforehand, and I didn't dare close my eyes in the shower. I felt like he was standing in the shower watching me. To this day, I hate that shower. I still refuse to use their bathroom when I visit. I am a skeptic, but I wholeheartedly believe in magic, as I have seen more evidence for than against. When I was 17, I heard of an experiment involving VR. Long story short, I got the idea that perhaps looking at my reflection and creating a sort of dissociation from my visage would split me and free me of my flesh prison. I stared for a few moments and then saw myself go down the stairs, circle our living room, and go back up. I am a skeptic, so I immediately dismissed it as me imagining myself doing that. But when I walked down to the living room, my siblings were super excited and said something along the lines of, "You missed it." There was a mysterious gust of wind that was circling the living room. We were all raised Christian, and they thought it was the Holy Spirit. I was afraid to tell them otherwise. That was the day I learned that we are more than flesh and bone. I have had many dreams come true, but what was even more shocking was sharing them. When I was about 17, I also had 2 different experiences where I saw a person I know in a dream who later told me about having the same dream but from their perspective. I then learned that dreams are more than just random thoughts we have when we sleep. I haven't seen many spirits in my life, but there is one particular apparition that stuck with me. I was at a family reunion with my mother-in-law, and they had a mention of an event from not long ago that allowed me to be comfortable enough to remark on a visage I saw. He was standing behind a lady in a wheelchair, who was a distant relative in their family. It was so vivid that I thought it was a person at first, but then I noticed the light was strange on him, so I looked again, and that was when I saw that there was a bloody hole in his head. I gave his description to her, and it fit the description exactly with the lady's son that had shot himself a month before. Before then, I hadn't believed in ghosts, because how could they possibly work? But that convinced me. I often feel strange saying I'm a witch. I believe that magic is a natural part of life. I feel like being human and being a witch are inseparable concepts, but then again, I meet people that have so few encounters with magic that they don't even believe it's real. I don't why I've been blessed, but I can tell you that spirits and manifestation and astral travel is all a matter of magic to be science. I have seen most of the sigils I've drawn work in mysterious and spooky ways. One that sticks out is when my friend was missing. I was almost exclusively into sigil magic at the time, so I drew one to find her. Almost immediately after I drew it, my girlfriend contacted me and said she located the apartment of the guy our friend had left the bar with. She sent me her location to be safe. After taking a deep breath, I realized that the sigil I had drawn was arrow-like. I compared it to Google Maps and realized it was pointing directly at my friend's location. Alright, so my ex-girlfriend was a witch, like an actual practicing witch. One night, she asked me to come with her to this ritual she was doing for one of her clients. It was late, probably around midnight, and we ended up in this creepy spot where this old railway crossed this half-abandoned road, the kind of place that already gives you bad vibes before anything even happens. So, she and her client were off about 50 meters away doing their thing, and I was just chilling in the van, watching from a distance, keeping an eye out, At first, everything seemed fine. But then, out of nowhere, I heard this scream. And when I say scream, I mean it was guttural, like nothing I'd ever heard before. It made my blood run cold. I jumped out of the van, and that's when I saw them. My ex was sprinting toward me, dragging the client behind her. And the client? Holy hot dogs. She looked possessed. Her face was all twisted, and her body was moving in this jerky, unnatural way, like she wasn't even in control of herself. My ex screamed at me to get in the van and drive to this church nearby. Apparently, she knew it had a 24-hour chapel with holy water. I didn't even think about it. I just floored it. When we got there, she started saying some stuff I didn't understand and splashed the holy water on the client. And just like that, boom, she snapped out of it, like flipping a switch. 1 second she was this possessed nightmare, and the next, she was just her. She looked freaked out and confused, but normal again. After we dropped her off at home, my ex admitted she'd never seen anything like that before, and honestly, neither had I. They never spoke again after that, and I don't blame them. To this day, I still have no clue what I saw that night, but it was real. Too real. It was so insane it made me question, literally everything. I grew up in a house in a rural part of Maryland, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone within 10 square miles, and it took 30 minutes to get to the nearest department store. Our house was positioned between a cornfield and a forest. The road leading to my house was about 6 miles long, and the only people who ever drove down it were the handful of people that lived back there, and the occasional archaeological van that would do digs in the plot next to our house when the farmers would turn the fields over. We had a few paranormal experiences in that house. I'll briefly mention a few of those before telling you the main plot of this story. One day, I was in my room upstairs playing piano, and I heard a loud bang on the wall outside my room. My parents said something like, "What the hell was that?" And when I walked out of the room to ask them the same thing, my piano started playing the pre-installed demo songs completely unprompted. It freaked all of us out enough that we called my brother, who was in college at the time, to tell him about it, and years later he let us know that when we called him that night, he heard a deep laugh in the background of the phone call and was too afraid to tell us about it at the time. Another odd occurrence was when I was sitting in the sunroom and watched my brother walking through the front yard toward the door. I turned and looked into the living room, only to see my actual brother sitting on the couch wearing a different shirt than the doppelganger that walked by the window. My parents would also hear me talking in the house pretty frequently when they knew I wasn't home. Anyways, in 8th grade, I had this witch experience that I haven't been able to shake, and I had other people with me. My friend's dad was driving me home in his 3-seater truck with my friend sitting between us. We got to the stretch of road where we could see my house across the field. They planted soybeans that year so the corn wasn't blocking our view. And in the ditch, right by the road, was a figure I can only describe as a witch. We all saw her. We drove right past her. The ditch lining the road was about 2 feet deep and somewhat overgrown, and we could only see the upper half of her body as if she were sitting cross-legged in the ditch. She was wearing an off-white nightgown that was stained brown, and her hair was black and tangled. She was looking up into the sky with her arms extended toward the sky, and she was rocking in a circular motion. I know it sounds ridiculous, but all 3 of us were totally uncomfortable. My friend's dad was a rough around the edges, carpenter, a no-nonsense kind of guy. I remember really feeling scared when he asked us, "What the hell was that?" She didn't look like a homeless person or a drug addict, and we were so far from any town we literally never had a single person in the 20 years I lived there wander into our area who didn't belong there. She legit looked like she came from another time period and was sitting in our ditch trying to summon a whole tornado. When we got home, my friend's dad walked us inside, which he didn't normally do because my parents didn't socialize with my friend's parents. He came in almost as if he wanted to kill time to not drive back by her again. He told my parents what we had seen, and we couldn't see her from our house, so we called the police just in case it was someone in need of psychiatric help. My friend and his dad left after a couple of minutes, and the police came about 20 minutes later and said they didn't see anyone in the ditch and couldn't find anyone walking in the fields or roads in the surrounding area. My friend's dad called us once they got home and said that by the time they drove by the spot on their way home, she was gone. I truly cannot explain it. My friend's dad has since passed, but my friend says they still talked about it every now and then in the years following. I never saw her again while living in that house, but I definitely feel like she was the cause of the strange activity we would experience there.